Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to the Skeinz Diaries. This is Maree, day 16 on July the 16th, Thursday the July the 16th. And I am joined this morning by Deb and Ethan from Outlaw, and I'm going to switch it around.
Oh, great. Oh, we suddenly went big.
Yeah, woohoo! How are you guys this morning?
Yeah, we're
pretty good.
a bit cold, actually. It's a bit
Yeah,
chilly
so
down in Christchurch.
Brisk.
So I hear.
Yeah.
Well, it's just as well that you've got all the things beautiful, delicious and warm down there and all that wonderful bohemia to keep you going. But I thought the nice thing is we teased this on Monday and yes, and then we got everything live on Tuesday and we got all very excited, and then it was kind of, I mean, don't you love it when at least we do our due diligence, which is, when I say we, the royal we, I mean your lovely Katie at your end.
Thank God.
Thank God for Katie. Yep.
Yeah, thank goodness for Katie. So if anybody is wondering, and I put the newsletter out for the new sock Bandit, and it was kind of like the yo-yo Bandit, because 1 minute it was there, the boomerang Bandit, and then it was gone, but now it's back.
Yes.
And the reason for that, of course, is this is the thing. This is the thing with your incredible Outlaw colours, and I'm going to bring up particularly the main two of them. These beautiful, delicious, I'm going to swap them. Oh, there we go. Ethan's got them. Look at that. These strong, delicious jelly colours. Well, of course, and we all know what life is like when something stray and red gets into a hot wash, a world of pink socks and underwear. And we just needed to do some testing, didn't we?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
A little bit of testing.
A little bit of a mission. Basically what happened is that we had the wonderful Katie, who, if you've been into our shop, you will have seen most of her wardrobe in here because she knits for us a lot of our samples.
And she has done one or two for us as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she was very busy after the yarn arrived last week, frantically knitting us a timely.
Yay!
Because we thought, you know me, I don't knit socks, so we had to knit a sample that wasn't socks for the sock Bandit. So she had knitted us a very, very beautiful timely in, I'm just reaching across Ethan here, in those two colours. I'm sorry, the lighting is really not good in here today. We all look a bit dead, but in those two beautiful colours.
Mm-hmm.
And it was looking really fabulous. I saw it on Monday, and she whipped through the sleeves and was blocking it sort of just after we did the launch on Tuesday, and I suddenly got a message from her going, "My timely now has pink stripes." I was like, what?
So we slammed on the brakes.
So we slammed on the brakes, which is kind of what happened, which is why the launch was not a launch.
It's like that last time that they launched something down in Florida up to the space station where like they said they were going to do it on a Tuesday and then they did it on a Thursday. Same thing.
Yeah, kind of. So, so because we have knitted and blocked with the beautiful sock yarn. So you might have seen this.
The fun little sample
So
showing you how to stripe.
Yeah, this is a little sample that Katie did during the lockdown. And so we'd blocked this and everything was fine. You can see, look, there's no problems. But when Ethan blocked it, he blocked it in cold water.
Yes.
And when Katie was blocking her timely, she blocked it in lukewarm water. So of course that threw us all into a bit of a panic because we had seen no trouble with any of our samples.
Yes, exactly.
Look, she even made us look at this.
There's a whole. Oh, so tiny.
I still can't get the camera right. Look, the cutest socks ever.
In all the possible color combinations.
Yeah, she made us adorable socks. So of course we didn't realise there was any issue until, and of course you guys you'd sent out your newsletter.
Yeah,
we hadn't actually quite pressed the button on ours yet.
No, and we hadn't figured it out either because of course everything we do, and so just to backtrack for people, is that we're Deb and all of us are actually quite worried because of course this is a machine washable yarn.
Yeah.
Now, and the thing is everybody's machines are different, and it just says machine washable, which it is. And the biggest thing is that sometimes you don't check the settings on your machines. Most woolen settings are set to either cold or no more than 30 degrees. So if you're on a machine wool wash cycle, you're as good as gold. But we just needed to really double check that, because all of us did. So we also had Claire here doing a whole heap of samples back at her place. She was washing and blocking with dishwashing liquid and all the rest of it, just to roll everything out. And it is definitely, it's temperature sensitive. So that's the big thing that we've discovered over this, because again, all our initial testing was done in cold, because that's
well, I'll tell you what the funny thing is. Like in our house, we live in a pretty old house, and at some point I'm assuming that there has been a wetback on what would have been the fireplace. So our this is a silly story, but our hot water cylinder is on the opposite side of the house from all the taps. So when you go to, even if you want some warm water and you go to run the tap, usually by the time you're actually getting the warm water, you've given up. So this is pretty much why everything in my house.
When I showered at your place.
When you stayed at my place, yeah, it takes forever for the hot water to come through. So this is why I'm often blocking everything in cold water, because by then I've bloody given up. I'm like, oh look, I haven't got time for this. I just want to put stuff in the water. So honestly, so everything has kind of gotten honestly blocked in cold water. Yes. So we had no idea that this was an issue until Katie blocked her Timely. Now, poor Katie, her Timely is still very beautiful. We've actually got it here, and we were going to show it to you, but it's still drying, so we don't really want to disturb it. I mean, it still looks lovely. The thing is, it just doesn't have.
It has a limited edition color.
It has a limited edition color. This color is now pink with dark spots. Look, we figured that this could actually be a thing.
It could be a thing.
It could be a thing, because you could combine your colors together, warm wash them, and you're going to get your very own totally unique limited edition
custom dye.
You can go. I hand dyed these myself. So, yeah. Look, honestly, it's just
think of the possibilities. You know, like there's no end to the experiments you can do with the Sock Bandit, folks.
Yeah.
No, but so the great news is this is now available. We've got it available. You guys have got it available. Everybody that's ordered from us online, and you may have noticed that they went back up last night. They are all coming out to you. And the one thing that we're doing, Claire has just literally before we went live, she'd just gotten back from the mill. There will be an extra sticker placed on the ball band in big writing telling you cold wash only.
Yeah, so we do. Yeah, this is what our solution is. I mean, look, I mean, Peter and I spent a lot of time on the Skype yesterday, while he was running different experiments, and
yes, it got very science lab.
It got very science lab with Peter yesterday, and all the different temperatures and all this kind of thing. But we've worked out it is actually colour fast up until about 30 degrees. But 30 degrees is not as warm as you think 30 degrees is, I tell you now. So 30 degrees is not like 30 degrees outside when it's really, really hot. 30 degrees of water temperature is actually quite cold, which is why I've said to Peter, no, we're just going to do cold wash only. Mm-hmm. Also, I mean, we talked about re-dyeing the batch and all that kind of thing, but the thing is, we try not to be wasteful at Outlaw Yarn. If you come in to see us, you will notice when you go out with a bag of yarn, it is a recycled cellophane bag, which not plastic, it's biodegradable. We recycle all our packaging from the mill. We recycle everything we can. So the thought of having to dump a batch of Sock Bandit was not going down very well with me.
No, we were both pretty uncomfortable.
So this is what we decided, rather than actually try and re-dye the batch. Also, I would like to say that we have actually worked out what the problem was in the dye house. So we now know what happened, which means we won't do it again. Part of the problem was me choosing the colours. Because, if you guys have used Bandit and Outlaw, you know that I like quite vibrant colours or quite deep colours, which take a lot of dye, and just with this kind of process,
it suits me just fine now.
Yeah, it's different to the actual process of how these solid colours are dyed. So anyway, we've worked out the problem. It won't happen again, but what it does mean is that potentially Sock Bandit in the future is not going to be these super deep colours. So.
But we have a fun plan already for that. So buy all of this Sock Bandit so that you can see the next batch of colors.
Exactly. And I think, that's the nice thing about what you do, though, is that you've got, there are some colors that are going to a limited edition, and that if you want to get them, you do need to snap them up.
Yeah.
And
this was always supposed to be a limited edition range, so once it was gone, we were going to swap to new colours anyway. I just want to show you this swatch as well, because this one I did run.
This is a machine wash.
Okay, I threw this in the machine, so this is not hand washed. I threw it in the machine yesterday, and it's gone through the entire
Cold
cycle.
Water wash,
Cold water wash.
Right.
We'll bring it up a
with
little
a
bit.
scoop of detergent.
There
we go. Can you see it?
Yeah. Now, I'm really glad that you're holding that up, because this also speaks to what I think is a really good thing. So, in case people are wondering, we've got these gorgeous semi-solids, but we've got these sprinkles, right?
Sprinkles.
Yes, there we go. And the reason for that is that all of these work together. And this is the beautiful thing. So that if you are wanting to stripe them like what Deb and the socks that Ethan and Deb are holding up there, you can do that just readily. But you don't need to do that. Like if you're wanting to actually do a single project in just a single yarn, whether it just be speckles or just jellies, you can do that too. And Ethan may have a project that he's working on, or one that he could have finished earlier. And it is just absolutely fantastic. So we appreciate everybody being so patient with us doing that, but we just wanted to make sure, didn't we? You wanted to make sure, we wanted to make sure that we were 100% okay, and so we've done that now. So cold water is the message.
Cold water with Sock Bandit, because look, honestly, I swear this went through the machine, cold water wash with a white towel, and the towel is still as white as it ever was.
And to be fair, I have been wearing a pair of, I don't have them because they're dirty, because I wear them all the time, a pair of Sock Bandit yarn socks in the Adventure Sprinkles, and I just chuck them in with my wash right through the machine. I do remember to take them out before they go through the dryer, because Ethan's quite neurotic. Surprise, everyone. I know, right? But I do wear them all the time. I've had no running with them, except for the running I've done in them. And I really, really love them. And I am actually a bit of a sock knitter, not like a sole sock knitter, not a dedicated one. So it really suits just great, simple socks as well. You can go fancy, you can go crazy, embrace your inner lace nerd, do your thing. But I just did a really easy cast on, 64 stitches, just kind of improvised them as I went, because it's a sock, everyone. It's 2 pieces of math. You'll have a sock at the end of it. Don't worry. If you need a bigger size, what do? Change your needle. The great secret of socks.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing you can do too, I mean, I love it striped, so you can see that I was playing with all the stripes. There we are, playing with all the stripes. But then the other thing I decided to do is I actually started, it looks like a bit of a mishmash, but I started striping.
Oh, all the different colours together.
The different colours together.
Hey, that looks fantastic.
So that bit there is actually all the colour, all that little top bit there is actually all 3 of the sprinkle colours striping together. So
they look brilliant.
So you can kind of make your own pattern with it. And this is the thing, is I designed it so that all the colours work together. It doesn't matter which colours you put, they were all going to go together. So I mean, and I'm I'm a bit of a sucker for stripes. I always have been. So my favourite thing with it, I think it looks the best when it's striped. That's my...
I do want to say, if you are keen on the sprinkles and you've been someone who's been sitting around thinking about possibly, now Deb's going to hide her face here, but if you're like me and occasionally you knit with more color than you should, guilty as charged, then this would actually make a really fantastic So Faded by Andrea Maree, that great lightweight raglan with a garter stitch top. It's really, really fun to knit. It's super easy to come out. And the sprinkles do a great job of blending into one another. So you could create a really subtle, beautiful, creamy look with this. That would be fantastic. And then do something really fun and bold and do all of the ribbing in the contrasting sock color. So that would be one of my big suggestions. If you are hankering for something that's going to come out and be great, machine washable again, light, easy to wear, a great layering piece to take you from these chillier days if you're someone who pops into the office instead of going outside to work, this is the yarn to make a great little jersey in.
Yeah, and things also, projects like Exploration Station, that have all those different sections running through them. An Exploration Station and that would look amazing. Absolutely amazing.
With this speckle and pop, if you used one of the sprinkles throughout and did speckle and pop, then you could use all 3 of the solid colors to do the different pops. That would be a really fantastic project as well.
Yeah. So that, you know, the options there are endless, which is just fantastic. So
you guys know I don't knit socks, so I will be knitting. I'll be knitting socks with it.
What about a hat?
Yeah, look at that.
So this is kind of a riff on the Oslo hat by Petite Knits for everybody at home. If you're looking for a pattern, I pulled a full Maree on this, and I just cast on some stitches and started knitting. So if you're looking for a pattern for this, it's cast on provisionally 136 stitches. Then you knit as deep as you want times 2 for the brim. You fold it in half. You undo the provisional cast on. You knit 2 together all the way around, creating a great turning row. And then you knit the inside of the hat as long as you want. And then you just decrease away at the top. I did a really interesting double set of decreases that give it this little sock sort of shape so that it fits my head quite well without disturbing my hair. Yeah, that's right. That's the road we went down, everyone.
It was lockdown, people.
Yeah, we had time. There was time. I might have made more than one. And I knit this on 2.75 millimeter needles, if you're interested.
Well, and this is the other thing about this yarn, because this particular base is a base that I'm very, very fond of, and it's one that I have knitted a lot with in the past. And I used, in fact, I did a lot of baby knits on this base way back when, and it is just indestructible. I love it as a garment yarn, and the neat thing about it is that it knits perfectly on anywhere from 3.75 millimeter needles, or even 2.75 with 2.5, all the way through to 3.5. What are you doing now? Hold up your Adelaide, Ethan, because what are you doing that on?
I'll just tell you, this one swatch was knitted on 3.25s. This one.
Yeah. And this guy was on 2.75s, just because I'm a masochist. So my hand's going to disappear momentarily because I put on a glove as well. Sorry for the Michael Jackson moment, everyone. This is the Adelaide Pullover by Isabel Kramer.
Which you can't see the lace because we need something white behind it. Hang on.
Oh, my hand's not white enough. That's a rarity. So,
can you see the lace?
It has this is some very high-tech work, everyone.
Very high-tech
special
effects.
Lace. I just want you to know that in person, even in the dark color, the lace does show up very, very clearly. You can really see the structure of it. It is a very structured, top-down, yoked cardigan. It's from a Brooklyn Tweed collection. It's actually intended for a lace weight or 2-ply yarn, but because of the high twist that we have on this great sock base, and as Maree said, the flexibility of the gauge on it, you can knit this down, as I have, on a 2.5 millimeter needle, 3.5 millimeter needle, and produce a beautiful fabric. It has just a little bit of drape to it, but lots of structure, and the lace yoke accommodates a variety of different shoulder sizes. I will say it comes with incredibly slim sleeves, but there are 2 sleeve options, a short sleeve and a long sleeve if you're doing this pullover. And I know that most people don't knit at Katie and I's frantic pace, so don't hold yourselves to this. But this only took 2 days.
Yeah, he's not even lying. That's so annoying.
And I will also tell you all the truth. I made some heavy modifications to the collar. So if you're casting this classic Isabel Kramer neckline, for those of you who have knit her pullovers, she likes a relaxed neck because she likes to offset shoulder so you have a slimmer overall profile in her garments, is what she said in the past about it. But the good thing about raising a neckline on a top-down sweater is all you have to do is knit extra rounds of ribbing.
Yeah.
So instead of doing 5, I did 15. And to make it a more graduated ribbing, all you do is every 5 rows, increase the needle size by 2.5 millimeters. And that's it.
Easy peasy. Yeah. And the other thing, and you just saying that and showing that pattern up, see, that also says to me, Rebel, I think you've got a Rebel sample at this shop, do you not?
No, we don't have Rebel actually, but you're right. I think it actually would be great as a Rebel.
I think Rebel would be great in Sock Bandit, because particularly
maybe we can ask Katie to make us. I don't think we can ask her to make us another time.
Sorry, Katie.
Katie.
agree, Katie.
Yeah.
But I think a rebel would look great. It would look really good.
And Vanessa from Hanging Rock Roost has also just released a beautiful pattern with some
Rata,
which would really shine in this yarn.
Yeah, Rata would look fantastic. So there's some really good options out there, which is brilliant. It's so I'm super excited about it. I've already got my eye on a couple of things that we want to do for samples here too. So it's just nice. I thought it was really good to be able to talk through everybody as well and just reinforce if they're wondering what was going on. And we can't reiterate enough, if you are wanting to get some of this into the stash, definitely with this batch one, you want to make sure you get onto it and get it nice and quick. Because, as we said, we'll be potentially looking at new ranges of colours and stuff for the second run, so we don't want
to. There will definitely be a new colour range because that was planned anyway. As I say, it just is not necessarily going to be as deep as I was expecting, perhaps. We'll be doing a little more testing in the lab before we release another batch. Is the yarn soft enough to wear next to the skin? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, we were talking about that, didn't we, just before we went live, is how squishy and how good the hand actually is. And the other thing too, with that higher level of it's so soft, with that higher level of twist on it as well, is when you're actually moving up to those more relaxed gauges, the wearability on it is a lot better than what you would normally get with a merino yarn, because that high twist actually helps lock those fibers in. So it does have quite a different look to the stocking stitch fabric than what you would normally expect with a yarn, say like Baby Bandit, for example. But you can still use this like Baby Bandit for babies, absolutely no problems whatsoever as well. So if you're wanting to do your baby knitting, you can do that as well. So
because this is actually, I don't think we've actually said, this is 100% merino. There's no nylon in this, so it's 100% merino and high twist. So that's
so basically for all of you at home who are sock knitters who are sitting here going, but no nylon. The nylon only really gives you an extra year or two on your socks. So I really wouldn't be that concerned about it. If you're rotating through your hand knit socks on a regular basis, and if you're someone who loves to build a sock drawer, maybe you bought 52 weeks of socks from us, and you're sitting at home thinking, but what do I do? You knit 52 pairs of Bandit socks. Don't be crazy. And the good thing about it is, as long as you're rotating through your socks, you're still going to get a nice long lifespan on them. Do not be concerned about it. I've been wearing them intentionally to see at least twice a week since the beginning of lockdown, and I am seeing no significant wear yet. Now, it does mean knitting them on a nice dense gauge still, so don't be fooled by those sock patterns that are like, you can go up to a 3.25 millimeter. That's not true. No. It's not good for socks. Don't do that. No. And do remember that reinforced heels are always a good plan. And laying in an extra ball in a cute contrasting color for darning in the future really extends the life of your socks. And all you do is purchase it, tuck it away in the stash. If you're like me, get a small Ziploc bag and a Post-it note and label it so you remember what you bought it for, so you don't end up using it in a shawl, because we've all gone down that road. And then 2 years later, you need to darn something and go, oh no. Oh no. And it has... Darn. Oh darn.
Oh, stop it.
Someone had to provide the dad joke.
Yeah, Malcolm's not here. The Sock Bandit has, as we've stated, a variety of uses beyond just socks. So it's great for anything that you are going to wear next to the skin. If you have those people in your life that you knit for, because unlike me, you knit for others, who say occasionally that they find wool itchy, which means they just haven't been wool trained, but that's a problem for a future day. This is a great thing to make them a project in. It does have a great hand feel. Maree was pointing that out before we got on camera. It's very fun to knit with. It glides along the needles. It works super, super smoothly. You're not going to run into any moment where you're kind of having it stick or catch, and it's just going to fly along. It does suit very well the simpler top-down patterns that a lot of people are very into right now. If you happen to have a big stash of mohair at home and you've been thinking about how you might use it up, combine it with some Sock Bandit, hit up some of those petite knit patterns that we all love and adore, possibly even, say it with me now, love note. And work through what you're thinking about. And as always, we're happy to help you find patterns. It's literally what I spend like a third of my day doing. It's just patterns.
And there's so many out there. And I think, actually, and you brought up a really great point too about, with Rata, the new one from Hanging Rock Bruce from Vanessa. But she's got and I can't remember the one that she did previous to that. I think that was in a 4-ply as well. And Otera?
Oh, the one with the beautiful detailing up the back.
Yeah, and so that would work too. There's just so many options there. And I think it's about not being afraid to actually go in and try and find something and do something a little bit different and a little bit new. Speaking of patterns, I thought should we give everybody an update on how I'm getting on with my gold wing?
Yes, show off the gold wing.
Right, I'm going to just jump to double screen.
I was going to say, you better be the big person and we'll be the little people in the corner.
Okay.
There
we go.
Better.
Right. So I was complaining on Monday because I had nitpick needles that I've been using to knit the whole thing, right? And I had the smallest cable that I had, which wasn't quite small enough, and I did the video in the office, and I was complaining to Claire, what's the smallest cable that we've got? Like, you could just magic loop. It's like, I don't like magic loop. Right.
You both have a color. That's terrifying.
So I went.
That's the same thing Ethan would say to me.
Spiritual sisters, Claire and I.
Yeah. So So anyway, I do actually have an Addy with the small link, so I've managed to do that. So that's where I'm at now.
Ooh.
So I am at the point now that I can start my colour work if I wish to. So look at that. Woohoo! And that's about another 12 centimetres to the colour work there. So I just need to do a bit of a try out because I don't like my sleeves too long. It's a personal preference thing for me. So I think I may add maybe 1 more centimetre before I start the colour work, but that's where I'm at with that. So that is still happening, guys. I am still working on that. I know I'm not being blisteringly quick on it, but I am getting there. But part of the reason I'm not being blistering... Yes, and part of the reason I'm not being blisteringly quick with it is I keep getting distracted with this.
Oh, I mean, I can appreciate why.
Yeah, I know, right? So I'm going to jump this because I can see. There we go. Look.
Oh, yes. Now, I believe is that a hitchhiker?
It is a hitchhiker. Well, I wanted to because I didn't quite know. I think I can't remember whether we did this in video or off video, you and I, but I wasn't too sure what it was going to look like. And I just like the idea of having a reversible fabric to be, there we go. I've just got a few pictures there.
All right, someone at the door.
A reversible fabric.
Yes.
To be able to show it off.
Gorgeous.
And
that soft marling, the little bit of fleck from the Kinu. Oh.
Wow. I know, isn't it great?
That's really pretty.
It is absolutely fantastic.
Really pretty. So
and you're holding that double with which yarn?
I'm holding it double with just a very fine sort of 2-fold 4-ply fingering weight alpaca merino, which I picked up in Australia, and it's a very, very soft slack twist.
Yep.
So by double stranding it with the Kinu, it actually helps hold it together. However,
plumpness.
Yeah, however, it would work really well with this.
Yes.
So of course,
even with your orb, the fine one that you have?
Yes, it would. So of course I have happened to buy, these are just a few.
Oh, Maree, did you buy more yarn?
I know.
Pot to kettle.
It's work related.
Pot to kettle.
I know. But what it did do, and I've got I've got a couple of sort of shades, like 2 different blues. I've got 2 different pinks. And then I've sort of got this, I'm going to have to get some more of this one. I love this one. Yeah,
that's absolutely gorgeous.
But what, you were talking about fades before, and that was the thing why I got it, because I think with the double stranding, I've been able to do something with this and then actually use the Kinu to actually provide the fade.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, as you know, I have been involved in a super top secret test knit that you have seen the finished result of.
Oh, yes.
that uses that particular technique to great effect. So I think that doing that in the Kinu with a lovely neutral base would just produce, it will look like an old style watercolor or kind of impressionist painting.
Yeah.
Doing that kind of work. It just blurs out the hard edges between the colors when you're doing that sort of fading, and it creates such a, and I mean decadent in the original sense of the word, meaning that it slowly decays from one to the next, where the richness actually provides that offset texture to the darkness. I am wearing gloves indoors, everyone. I'm still not used to the temperatures in this.
It's actually really cold in here. We haven't got the heat pumps on yet.
The heat pump's quite loud.
Yeah,
it's directly behind us.
It's directly behind us and a bit loud. So yeah, we haven't turned it on. So yeah, I'm actually kind of standing here going, oh yeah, it's a bit cold.
Yeah, I'm wearing a thick layer of Bohemia worsted and some sock bandit gloves. So I'm doing just fine, everyone.
Well, there you go. Well, look, I'll just scroll down and make sure we haven't got any more questions from everybody.
That does remind me, there are a variety of great free glove patterns on Ravelry. These are the Fruit Loop gloves. Now, as per usual, I have knit them in an impossible to see on camera color.
Yeah.
You're welcome, everyone. They are actually quite fun to knit. If you are someone who likes small circumference knitting, I want to stress that last part. If you are someone who sits at home and dreads the idea of small circumference, gloves are not for you. But if you have people in your life who, like me, have larger than average hands, because of the way gloves are constructed, it's actually much easier to customize them. These take the same amount of time and roughly the same amount of yarn, a 50-gram ball each, as a pair of socks. They're really, really fun to make. They're super portable. You can take them everywhere with you. And because you're not working to a set number of repeats, you're working consistency to length, you can actually measure the person's hand in advance. Even a great suggestion is taking a little piece of cardstock and tracing out their hand so that you have it to measure again. Yeah, and you just cut out the hand and tuck it into your project bag. And as you go, you can literally just try the glove on the hand. It will stretch out to accommodate fingers. And it does show off, there's a little bit of faux cable, also known as a wall stitch, that travels up each individual finger and up the thumb. And they are, as long as you're great with picking up stitches, let's just have a little chat about what skills you need for doing this. Picking up stitches, invisible increases, small circumference knitting, and all of the patterns will tell you to decrease and draw the finger shut. I disagree. I think that you should Kitchener stitch the tips shut because it just gives a slightly more polished feeling. And just like the tip of a sock, that seamless edge means that when you're resting your fingers on something, it's absolutely seamless. So I would actually say that my #1 pick for Sock Bandit at the moment are not socks for your feet, but socks for your hands. You can call them gloves.
And also too, if you don't fancy doing the fingers, there are some really amazing colour work and mittens out there as well. So, and with the stripes, doing some really funky stripes with the sprinkles, be gorgeous.
If you wanted to play with all of the colours and a sprinkle, I would recommend the Fiddlehead Mittens by Adrian Basilia. They are a classic stranded colorwork mitten that come with the instructions to make a full lining as well. Adrian has done a lot of mitten patterns over the years. You might know her by her handle Hello Yarn. She also does great hand spinning courses and other things like that all over the Pacific Northwest and East of the US. And her mittens are to die for.
Oh, there you go. Gorgeous. Question, 52 weeks of socks. Do you have that in the shop available? No, sold out.
And gone, sorry. Yeah.
There you go. Sorry about that. Who was asking for that?
Yeah, no, sorry. Our batch sold out pretty quickly. Yeah, that was before.
No, well, it's sort of the way of the world at the moment. I don't know. I mean, every time we get something in, it just sort of seems to disappear. I mean, so actually the one thing I will update everybody on, I'm just going to flip you guys around for a second, is Lisa F. Patterns. That was the one thing because it is on, we did a fantastic mail out on Monday. I spoke about it on Monday as well. We've got these gorgeous Lisa F. Patterns. I put the newsletter out and I mean, we had loads of them. Don't get me wrong. Loads and loads of them in store and in stock, and they just went absolutely disappeared. The good news is we are getting more. We've already placed the order, so hopefully they'll be with us within the next week or so. Lisa's just got to get them printed for us. But it's just been really nice to actually have some stunning printed patterns available for sale on online for those that prefer a hard copy, because not everybody, yes, and people, and it's also written in a classic work flat style, and which is great because not everybody's comfortable working within the round or top down. So and a number of Lisa's patterns do actually have the options for both. So if you are that way inclined, do that too, which I think is really good as well. Well, thank you, you two. It has been so great to catch up. We are doing Sock Bandit. We're all on for Sock Bandit now. So
yes,
we are all.
Sock Bandit is back.
Sock Bandit is back.
Here and it's back.
We relaunched for any two, because I know what will happen is this will go out, and I will reinforce that on our social media. So if anyone is catching this and then you say to me, "But Maree, it's all gone. It's not available now. It's sold out." Don't panic. We will be drawing more stock in, and we will be having more. So if it does go out of stock across the weekend, we will have more stock probably landed next week. So
yep.
Not. That's the only thing that you do have significant quantities of in your warehouse.
Yes, it is actually the only thing we have. I did a little yarn forecast the other day, and people could see in the warehouse. I took them on a little tour of all the empty boxes in my warehouse, and nearly empty boxes in the warehouse. And the only thing that usually our warehouse is stacked. The boxes are two to three high. The only thing at the moment that's stacked 3 high is Sock Bandit. Yeah, so everything else is on the floor.
So fear not everybody. Hey, look, I will be back getting with everybody here on Monday, so do make sure you come and join me then. Until then, have a great weekend. If you happen to be in Christchurch, and I just saw in there a northerner that's heading south, Glenn.
Oh, woo!
Woo! If you are around HQ, actually remind everybody what your hours are at HQ.
Our hours have been extended, so we are here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 12 until 6, and Saturday from 11 until 3. And we also do, if you're dropping in, we have knit groups twice a week that we would love for you to join in on if you're just here in town for the day or the week. It is from 10 till 12 on Thursday morning, or from 6 till 9 on Wednesday evening. Bring some cash because we order pizza, and come hang out with usually Deb and I, sometimes just me, sometimes just Deb.
I took the night off last night.
It's a rotating cast of characters from HQ. You might even see the elusive Katie, who you'll never see on camera, so you have to catch her in person.
Yes.
Absolutely. And the best news too, now that we're on speaking about extended hours, Saturdays, we're back open here at Skeinz Central this Saturday, 10 to 1, and from Monday we're back to our normal hours. Hooray! 10 till 3:30, Monday through Friday. We're really thrilled about that. So yes, that's great news for us here as well. So it's so nice to be able to be here at those more extended hours. And when you pop in, we've of course got our lovely Kirsty and Heather, and we also now have the lovely Veronica, who has joined the team. And then you do run into the elusive Claire and I from time to time working around. So, well, it has been so great to catch up with you two. Have a great rest of week, and I will talk to everybody here again on Monday. See you guys all later.
Bye.
Bye.